What's going on, moms and dads? You are listening to the latest episode of the Fade You podcast, recording on Wednesday afternoon, September 13th, 2023. This is our week 2 preview show, week 2 in the NFL. We're going to sort out overreactions. We're going to talk about what might be legit. We got it all covered for you here on the Fade You podcast, which you should subscribe to. Please subscribe if you are listening to this. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Make sure you subscribe, tell your friends about it. And we also broadcast our shows live on YouTube. So check out our Twitter, our X at FadeU Sports. Get to our YouTube channel. Check us out on video one of these times. Like the videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We appreciate everybody's support and all our listeners out there. Thanks for hanging out with us. Matt here with Chris, and we're a little shorthanded today, but it's fine. Joe is reeling from his 1-4 start. Just kidding, Dad. Joe is out of town doing some work, some real dad work. Where's Joe? Reno? Is that right, Joe? Chris, is Joe in Reno?
That's, I think, somewhere where he can gamble.
Somewhere where he can bet.
Yeah, money line parlay.
Just had a hot dog money line parlay. So miss you, Joe. And Joe did point out that he a couple years ago also went 1-4 in his week 1 contest and still ended up beating all the dads in the end. So Joe and Jared will be just fine with their picks. No big deal. Kmart's here. Kmart, what happened? As of 3 minutes ago, I thought you weren't going to make it.
Well, we were a little bit closer, and I just said, hey, guys, I'm going to bring in all the groceries, and you're going to put them away, and I'm going to go pod. So I just ran into the house like this, got my computer, and yeah, not too bad. Only missed about 2 minutes.
You did, and Dad just couldn't miss the pod. He's got to take his victory lap after 3-0 on his picks.
I take my responsibility seriously. Shockingly.
Yes, sir. Yeah. If you've known Kmart for a long time, that statement might make you raise an eyebrow. But hey, he's a mature, seasoned dad at this point.
Yeah.
Should be in the contest, Dad.
Should be in the contest.
So I actually, if I wasn't in North Carolina and just kind of watching and drinking, I got pretty drunk on Sunday, but I actually bet the Cowboys, so I went 4-0. But
wow,
it's easy. Like I probably wouldn't have taken the Cowboys like pre-flop. Like it was just more of I had my bets and then it was just an ad, and I got lucky.
Well, at least somebody won on that game because Chris, you and I didn't.
Not I.
Yeah, not so much. Those primetime unders, though, Dad. Chris is here. Chris, I want to start with this. So we all watched Monday Night Football. We all watched Aaron Rodgers on the 4th play of the game go down. Torn Achilles. That one hits close to our hearts here on this show. Did it make you reminisce? Because it's been about a year for you, right? A little over a year?
Yeah, coming up on a year on surgery at the end of September. And when I saw him, I didn't see it at first. You guys said he was dead. I turned on ESPN, checked it out, saw the replay, saw him the way he was leaving and like limping off. And everyone's like, oh, it's a knee or an ankle. And then they go, oh, the ankle. And I'm like, damn, sure looks like a fucking Achilles to me. So, and I just, the way he was hobbling, I'm like, if on an ankle, I walked off the court. Obviously, he's in the pros. He can. I personally probably would have limped off. He just went back down. But when you go back down like that, when you've had an Achilles tear, like it's really ginger. That shit hurts. Like with the ankle, you can sometimes kind of just hobble your way off. But God bless him, man.
So we all follow all these. Well, we don't even follow them. They just come up on Twitter now. All these medical people who say like you can see the shit like pop. Can you describe what that feels like, Chris? Like when the tendon just pops like that?
Yeah, so mine wasn't like Kevin Durant's or his. Mine didn't retract back up into the calf, thank God. Mine was like down towards the ankle. It was a full thickness tear, but it wasn't like my scar's like this big. I saw a guy at the gym the other day. Like I saw his all the way up like into his calf. I'm like, oh shit, his goes up high. So I just felt it like they said with Kobe, when Kobe did his, he asked, like, dude, I forget who his teammate was, did you kick me or something? And that's exactly how it feels. You wake up and you think, you stand up and you're like, did someone just like take my ankle out? But that's just your damn Achilles tearing. So
That's crazy.
Dude, that's
I don't know
literally
how
my
many.
worst fear, is doing
Sounds
that.
awful.
Like,
Yeah.
I remembered being just a fan. I don't remember if I was 10, 11, but when Vinny Testaverde did his with the Jets, and he's just on the ground banging the turf, and like ever since then, it's been like my number one fear. Like even more than an ACL, just tearing the Achilles seems like the worst injury you can possibly get.
And RIP J.K. Dobbins as well too. I mean, the Achilles just was not safe in week 1. So I don't know how many other shows you're going to get a breakdown of what that actually feels like. But that's our dad, Chris Duke. As soon as they started saying Achilles, all I could think about was Chris limping up and down the stairs at the Coliseum because, God damn it, he was going to attend Fresno State, USC, and oh man, that's wild times. So. All right, let's get into week 2. So there are several places we could start. The biggest thing everybody is going to tell you going into week 2 is that you do not want to overreact to 1 week of NFL results. Now, at the same time, you want to also notice what the hell is going on, because sometimes if you are right, you can make adjustments quicker than the books can, because they're oftentimes going to be slow to adjust. They don't want to move off those look ahead numbers too much and their preseason power ratings too much, but there could be value to be had. So I want to start with this. Hindsight is 2020. We love living in hindsight, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. I want to get from each of you one thing maybe you wish you would have considered more last week. Now that we saw the games, we saw the results. Kmart, is there one thing from going into last week you wish you would have put more stock into?
Bengals under season.
Okay, so no, that's a good
one. You didn't ride your French dad on that one,
dude. I had so much last year just invested in the futures. I just said, you know what, I'll probably never do that well again. So I honestly stayed away from all futures except just donated 100 to the Niners winning the Super Bowl, however long ago that was. But I just, it's like, okay, I can do the Bengals, I can do this, I can do that. I wanted to do the Chiefs under 2, but I just hated having all that money out there, even though like we all know, what we use, like it's kind of not that big of a deal. But it was, I don't know, sometimes like there are some weeks where you kind of want that extra bankroll. But even just not taking the Browns, that was one I liked a lot, but I just didn't really want to go, against my boy Joey. Um, so yeah, I wish I would have just taken that sharp line like most of us did in our group.
So that's a good one. I'm glad you brought that up, because when you talk about overreactions, I would say probably the teams that looked the worst week 1 were probably the Giants, Steelers, and Bengals. So are you thinking that they actually might have some issues that you can capitalize on, because they're still going to be priced like a Super Bowl favorite?
Right.
Or are they going to be, is this temporary? Is it long-term? Where's the concern, I guess, for Cincy?
I mean, the fact the line went up to 3.5 makes me kind of like their odds. If they were 2.5, I'd be like, oh shit, like gotta fade them again. Now that I kind of understand, because of Mr. Duke here, how to read a line, and the trickeration the books try to do on you, so easy, kind of like I should have posted it, but my sweetheart teaser is too good to be true. And I'm sitting at the bar with my childhood neighbor. He lives in North Carolina now, and I have the bet, and I'm like, hey guys, Rams second half, because something stupid's gonna happen. I didn't pull the trigger, and they had what, Matt, 12 yards in the second half. So it's like, yeah, it's things like that. But I don't know. Like I do like the Bengals this week, because Joe Burrow, even though it's different than it was 3 years ago, they've never played a good week 1. And I don't know if it's because he doesn't play in the preseason. There's a lot of variables, but they always seem to bounce back in week 2. So it's the narrative kind of in the trend follow Bengals in a big bounce back for this week. But I don't think they're in trouble. They got wiped by the same team on Halloween last year.
Oh yeah. Yep. I like that a lot. And just to while we're on that subject, I think you're going to see a lot of division dogs, road division dogs, and yes, those can be very good, but they do not go 100%, right? So I actually like where Kmart's coming from with the Bengals too. They looked so bad last week, and Baltimore they were okay. I mean, that game was 7-6 at halftime. It's not like they looked like a juggernaut. Mark Andrews is still banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. Left tackle, Ronnie Stanley hurt. Center, Tyler Linderbaum hurt. So one of the safeties hurt. So this is all of a sudden the most injured team in the league. And wow, shocker, Ravens are the most injured team in the league. I mean, didn't we talk about that with Cheese on one of the preview pods, that all the Ravens do is just get banged up and have guys get hurt all the time, and they barely make it through 1 week. So you got a really injured Ravens team that's going to limp into Cincinnati. I like where Kmart's coming from with that Bengals pick. I think people are going to say, "Oh, I don't know, they looked so bad last week." Good, bounce back.
Yeah, and they'll lead me into what's probably my best bet, once we get there, whenever we talk about what we like.
Nice.
Chris.
Cracking a brew.
I love it.
Vizzy seltzer.
How about you, Chris? One thing that you wish you would have maybe put a little more thought or stock into ahead of last week?
Yeah, I'm upset I didn't. And we mentioned that Kirk is good at the 1 o'clock spot, but I mentioned Bucks a few times to my partner, and I saw and I heard all the sharps were on them. We saw that late steam, and everyone thinks the Bucks are going to be trash, and we knew that we expected the Vikings to come back to earth in those 1-score games this year. And so I'm upset I didn't. I really wish we would have swapped out maybe the Texans for the Bucks or something like that, a little sharper, but something like that. But probably be looking to fade Kirk this year, especially when they're laying points. So and I'm gonna that leads me to who I'm gonna fade this week. We'll get to that in a couple minutes.
Well, no, we can get into that. And just to piggyback on what you said about the Bucks, I'm so mad I got off it last week.
I can't believe
I started looking. I talked about it on the pod. I got to stick with it. And then I just started reading more. They moved Wirfs to left tackle. They lost Shaq Mason. So there's some movement on their O-line with a new QB. I was like, I don't know. Mike Evans was injured. He had the groin in the preseason, but I put way too much into all that. And shocker, the Vikings played another 1-score game. And it was 17-17 pretty late, right? Like that. I mean, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
The Vikings had some weird ass, Bradbury, the center, he went out for a little bit, and then they immediately botched a snap that Kirk couldn't handle. So just some weird. They had at the end of the half, he threw the interception into the end zone. So kind of some fluky shit that happened. But the Bucks did look solid. Like they started really slow, and then they kind of finally got it going in the second half. And their D looked great.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I was going to bet that. And when I didn't see it on your card, I'm like, okay,
so mad.
I don't maybe there's something I don't get, but it's the things I've heard about Baker seem very good. The funny thing, calling get your weight up, that's funny, but apparently apparently he knew all the signs too. So I feel like he has the locker room, and that team could be a sleeper. 17 points to the Vikings, that's still an explosive offense. And there's a lot of talk with Jordan Addison as a rookie. Some of the I think he was inspiration, in week 1 offense, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So, Chris, are you talking about maybe fading Tampa this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see how you can't. I mean, they got, like you just said, Kirk gifted him with what, 2 fumbles and a pick in the end zone, and I mean Baker 170 yards or something like that. I mean, seeming like you said, they got lucky. They go from I love to fade the whole dog to favorite role. Coming home, Bears look like shit. They got beat up in that divisional game, and now they get to go down there and they're catching. I like a little bit of the line drop. I see 2.5 now from 3, even though I see about 60-70% of the tickets on the Bucks. That's a good sign to me. So, you got the blowout angle. The Bears lost by more than double digits in week 1. So all of that kind of lines up.
Duke was the look ahead 1.5, like plus 1.5 on the Bucks. So
that sounds
4
about
points.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the only problem with your Bears pick. The only problem is that the Bears are absolute ass.
Hey, they're going to go over their win total. Just settle down.
I don't know, Dad.
Yeah.
So I mean, I rewatched that Bucks game, and their D was good, and they've sometimes it's not all luck. Like it's that the Vikings gifted them. You have to give the defense credit at some point too, and they still have a lot of good players on that D. And I swear to God, I feel like every time I watch Chicago, they just do dumb shit. There's bad turnovers, there's fumbles, there's poor execution. I just have to see them put a competent 60 minutes together before I can put money on them. Getting under a field goal? I don't know. I'm not sold.
Definitely scary, Father. And I heard something like they're not that good down in Florida or Tampa or all those teams. I mean, we saw how Rodgers always had a tough time going those teams that go down to that humid weather. So, it's definitely as Simon Hunter and Chad Millman say, it's definitely a big balls bet, or we'll see.
Yeah, and it looks
hold
like
your nose.
Yeah, a lot of early actions on those Bears too. Courtesy Wager Talk.
Chris does make a good point. You always have to be a little suspicious of a team catching 6 and now favored by a field goal or almost a field goal the next week. It's a little dicey.
Yeah.
Let's get Joe and Reno in here.
Ooh,
never mind. He's gone.
Oh,
all right.
No.
Okay, we'll get him back in a minute. Real quick, Kmart, you got any? I mean, you're a Fields guy. You kind of, I feel like, have a soft spot for the Bears. Can you get on them after? I mean, they also weren't that bad last week. It's just their mistakes turned into catastrophe.
I think, and that's the discouraging part watching the Bears is, I know it's week 1, you're still kind of going through things, but it was really discouraging to see how they got outplayed, especially in the second half, because they were right there in the first half and just dumbfounded. Even some of their blocking miscues, even Fields with his athleticism, not being able to get outside of the pocket, getting sacked, even in the red zone, taking a sack out of bounds. It's like there's, I don't know. It's like, man, you're supposed to be better than Zach Wilson. Like, stop doing Zach Wilson type plays.
Yeah,
and that's what it looked like. It's growth. Yeah. Looks like Joe's in. Let him in.
Yeah, let's get Joe in Reno to give out his play live from the casino.
Joe,
what's up, boys? I used my.
All right.
Sorry, I was on the cell service, and then I used my conference Wi-Fi password, and it worked.
Nice.
Dad, just tell us that you're up. Show us some chips. Are you up right now?
Oh, dude, I'm at a restaurant that's closed right now. Look at this thing. It's only open on the weekends, apparently. I'm sitting in their fucking area. No, I'm not up, as a matter of fact. High Card Flush can suck my dick.
Present it.
All right, Dad. We just teed it up for you. You want to give out your pick?
Yeah, it's Broncos. I fucking makes no sense that they're laying 4.5 or 3.5. because they don't score points. Apparently, the under in this game is free money. Like, you could just bet whatever you want. Take all the alt lines, do the Joey Cheese, take under 25. Fuck, dude. Yeah, the line doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think Sean Payton cannot start his 10-year 0-2, so I think he's going to be desperate to score. Russell Wilson looked bad, but not fucking awful. I think they're gonna score enough points to cover this fucking spread, and I think their defense can hold Washington Redskins. I said that on purpose to like under 10 points and then win by 4.
All right, Kmart, can you get on board with the donkeys?
Can always get on board with the donkeys. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. I mean, they look like shit. They scored 16 points. Looked reminiscent of last week. Jimmy
Last
G.
year.
Yeah, last year. Thank you. I've had a little bit to drink. Give me a minute.
Me too.
Instead of give me a break, give me a minute. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But yeah, like even Jimmy G threw another pick in the red zone. Blah blah blah. Should have rolled. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about the Broncos. I kind of like your over pick because I'm looking at that total at 39 too. So I might be playing both of those and probably doing something I shouldn't do and just I don't give a fuck $200 parlay on them.
Judy might be back. They're saying maybe that guy will be back. So that would be pretty huge. And also, I think we need to consider that he wears that necklace with a Star of David, even though he's not Jewish. So let's keep that.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say one thing. Like, I think I will follow Joe on any of his best bets after a week like last week.
Yeah,
so I have no problem hammering the donkeys. Yeah.
I think I went 7 and like 25 last week. It was pretty cool.
Jeez. Yeah.
But
I was there 2 weeks ago. Ask Chris.
Those were probably like 3 of my plays, and the rest were Fade Den. Shout out him. Apparently he's the best bettor.
Yeah, 6 and 16 on Sunday. Let's go.
Shout out Fade Den. We're only about I don't know, 3 or 4 years from breaking even, so it's all good. Minus 44 units all time.
What did he make last week? He made like 20 units last week.
A lot.
50 times.
He made
15.
a lot.
Jeez.
He definitely made a lot. So I will say this: Sam Howell is no Jimmy G. Jimmy G and his good looks can go into Denver and get the win. Sam Howell, get your work cut out, buddy.
Kill. Joe, any
concern
for our survivor as well?
Yeah, that's going to be our survivor as well. Breaking news.
Ooh. Wow. Any
Let
concern,
the
Joe?
Squares take Cowboys and Bills.
Ooh.
Yes, I want Bronco cock.
Any concern, Joe, that so Washington didn't cover the spread either as a favorite. People are going to see that they were actually losing to Arizona
Cardinals
in the fourth quarter. Any concern that maybe the spread should be 3 or less and you got to lay over a field goal?
Yes. That's what I started this whole fucking thing off with, was like, why is it 3.5? Why isn't it 3? 2.5? I think that's an indication that, holy shit, the fucking Broncos are going to win by a touchdown. If they can score a touchdown. Or they just win 7-0. That's fine with me too. They can score 6-0, 2 field goals, no points from the British. 6-0.
That would be amazing.
And Russell Wilson, he did not look terrible. He actually looked good in the first half. There were some plays where he scrambled around a little bit and found a guy. There's a nice touchdown where that happened. So he didn't look all bad. If anybody came away from that game saying this looks just like last year, I don't know that you were watching closely enough.
Correct.
Yes, there were some miscues and mistakes, and that fucking kicker that Peyton brought over, that wasn't good. I mean, they lose by 1, right? Even though NFL games don't land 1.
Let's not forget the Raiders have beat the fucking Broncos 5 or 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Outright. Fuck a spread. The Raiders own the Broncos for whatever reason. I think Sean Payton cannot start he cannot start 0-2. He's got to fucking pull out everything and win. So, whatever.
All right.
Lose, I lose. But hopefully they at least
Hey,
win on the money line.
does Jared like anything? Have you guys talked yet?
Jared's too busy with his 19 kids to fucking text a motherfucker back. I sent him my favorite, like my 5 yesterday, and I didn't even get a response.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, awesome.
We love the dad, but he's too busy for us. But oh well. All right, let's get into another game. Kmart, you got another one teed up for us?
I do. So we kind of were talking about it before, but Steelers got absolutely blown by our Niners. Been over backwards. Showed the 50 states.
Us.
My Niners. My
Yes.
Niners.
Yes,
Our.
I'm part of the team, part owner. Wes Welker over here. I actually caught a touchdown pass. Anyway, yeah, that's my best bet. So I actually, my father-in-law even told me wait, and I didn't feel like it. So I have the Steelers +1. It's +2.5, but still,
You impatient fuck.
yeah. I was just like, no, it doesn't matter. It's
doesn't
money
matter
line,
if they win.
Lance. Yeah, money line. Like,
I'll remove it, and you can.
But yeah, like
refire it
everyone's
back.
gonna look at the 20. Yeah, everyone's gonna look at the 23-3 final. Oh my God, the Browns are so good. We knew it. Deshaun Watson. Their defense 23-3 against the Bengals. Bengals always start off slow. A lot of timing issues because Burrow wasn't there, throwing to Higgins, Jamar Chase. Like if you watch the game, there were a lot of opportunities, a lot of air yards, just no completions. Can't expect that's going to happen again. Steelers did some things, but the Niners defense, it's I don't know, it's arguably the best unit in the league, at least top 2. So I expect the Steelers to bounce back, win this thing outright at home. Basically the exact same spread as last week. I don't see Tomlin losing back to back as a home dog, considering everybody a week ago, all the sharps, Steelers, Tomlin, all the stats. Shanahan sucks in week 1, blah, blah, blah. Here we go, week 2. Just follow the same trend. Like, do you really think he's going to lose 2 in a row? But these teams are so equal to begin with. That Steelers defense is good. They're going to be looking to get after it, and they'll probably make some plays this week.
What do you think, Chris? Can you get behind a primetime Monday Night Football home division dog?
Oh yeah, I agree with Kmart. I mean, we've said how good he is in these spots, and what was it, Matt? I think I texted you before, like something like 60-something% outright. So they've been a moneymaker as a dog, even on the money line. Fuck the points, right? So I'm looking that way too. The problem is there's 3 prime because the Steelers are 1, and then the Panthers the same, that night, and then the night before, Patriots are home division dogs. So it's are you gonna take all 3, Matt? All 3 poops? Wee.
Well, yeah, you can, but the thing is, you can talk about Tomlin and all his fucking trends and shit, but what happened last week? Fuck your trend. Tomlin as a dog did not look good, or a home dog did not look good last week.
For sure. And like Matt said, they're not 100%. I mean, 60% you're going to lose, 4 out of 10.
But yeah, that he was also in a game that was over halfway through the first quarter. So
yeah, it was over once Travaris Ward made that pick. Like 7-0 once he made that pick. I was celebrating because I was like, holy shit! Like with our defense.
Yeah.
My defense.
My defense. With my defense.
Your defense, Kmart.
My defense.
Your defense.
My defense looks amazing.
All right, Chris, get in here with another play. You shared some. I know we're talking about trends, Chris. You shared some trends the other day that you loved. Some crazy system or something like that. We might lose Joe at the trends discussion, but do you have another one you want to fire up?
Oh, well, that Bears one fit one of them. The other one, what was the other one I sent you? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna 100% do the Titans, but that one fits it. But the big week 1 losers, obviously the Bears fit that one. Steelers fit that one as well. I'm probably gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I know I'm gonna have to do. I'll just do the Seahawks, because how do you not? The Lions looked great. They got the pick 6. They beat Patty Mahomes, the world champs, in the first game back. Seahawks don't even I don't even think they scored a point, right? In the second half, were they up 13-7 and then lost 27-13, something like that. Love it. Love my Rams last week. One of our wins in the contest. Now I'm going to jump on the Seahawks. They're going from 5-point faves to 6-point dogs, an 11-point flip. Gotta love it. The old fave to dog roll. And same with the Lions. They're going from over a field goal dog to now they're laying 6. I think it's a little.
Chris, that got hammered this afternoon. Circa is down to 4.5.
Oh shit! Wish it was 5. That's my favorite. That's my favorite dead number. But we'll see. I got it at 6. I think I sent a ticket number. I thought I sent it to people, but so really, Matt, 4.5.
That's what I'm seeing at Circa. So I mean, by the time our contest lines come out tomorrow,
hopefully it's
5 is going 5.5. Yeah, I know you want it to be 5 for selfish reasons, but
5's
yeah. Seahawks. I think the 4 of us could have got more yards in the second half than the Seahawks actually ended up getting against Chris's Rams. Joe, you like this one? Is this an auto? Seattle loses outright. Detroit wins as a dog. Is this an auto play?
Yes, 100%. I think just coming off like an emotional fucking win week 1 against the world champions, Detroit just primed for a fucking letdown spot. I like Seattle to come in and fucking butt fuck them. That's a money line play if I've ever heard of one.
And not to take anything away from Detroit, because they are America's darling right now, but can we acknowledge that they might have got a little bit lucky and a little fortunate with some of those drops? A drop so bad it turned into a pick 6 the other way. No Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones. Now Seattle is coming in with some injuries. Seattle's offensive line injuries are so bad. They signed 41-year-old Jason Peters to step in and play left tackle for them, which is not ideal. But yeah, I mean, is Detroit really this good, or did they just benefit from some circumstances in that KC game?
It's so funny, dude. It's so funny that like last year they played fucking good, man. They went over their win total, solid team, good future, and then now they're laying 5.5 at Detroit, or giving up 5, or they're catching 5.5 at Detroit. Week 2 of this season. Like, what the fuck? Do we just forget that they were like a really good goddamn football team last year?
Yeah, DK Metcalf gonna drop balls like your boy.
Wait, drop balls? We're talking dropping balls?
Yeah, like the wide receivers and the Chiefs. Hey, Matt, did that 41-year-old lineman, did he move the line? He's worth 1.5 points?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
No, he's the practice squad. He's not even playing.
Well, he better play because they don't have anybody else. They're all dead. They're all out multiple weeks. Cross is out. Yeah, they're fucked. But I mean, they're gonna have to figure it out. Like injuries don't determine everything. But it's definitely not ideal.
Before we get off of me, Cheese just texted me. He wants me to give out his best bet it's poopy. He says he's not buying the Giants bounce back Cardinals plus 200 money line poop. If that's sorry, Buff, if you're listening.
He's gonna listen to this and not do well when he hears that. So yeah, does it seem like the whole world is expecting the Giants to bounce back?
Yeah, like I mean, even for me in my Survivor, I said no to the Giants this week. I was like, no, like can't do it. Like everyone's going to be doing this like fade Cardinals thing. They're not going 0-17. Like we're not going to be the people that go out losing to the fucking Cardinals. Like I said it last week. I was like, I hate the Redskins pick, But to set up what we want to set up, I'm willing to risk it. But if we lose, I'm just gonna say for the next year, I told you so. So I was getting pretty nervous, just watching that game in the bar. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah,
cards are pretty scrappy. And when you're expected to lose and you're expected to be scum, I don't know. Sometimes you go out there and you just play like you have nothing to lose. Like, what do the Cardinals have to lose in this game, right? Don't the Giants have all the pressure in the world? Like, you cannot go across the country and lose that game. And you can't, after the way you got embarrassed last week, go and have another. So all the pressure is on the Giants. And the Cardinals have this new coach. They got a guy playing quarterback that they just signed like 9 days ago still. And they're kind of playing with house money, right?
I mean, I don't even think they had money from the house to begin with. They got, I mean, they're pros, so.
Any more rapid fire before we get out of here? Joe, do you have one more that you're kind of considering? I know you said you sent Jared your 5. We might have lost Joe. His restaurant might have opened.
I thought it was my internet.
We may have lost Joe, but hey, why don't we touch on the Niners game real quick? Because everybody knows that Kyle Shanahan is approximately 1,000-0 ATS against Sean McVay.
Except an NFC Championship game when it mattered.
Except when it actually mattered. Kmart is correct.
I don't know about that.
And so why don't we touch on that Niner-Rams game real quick?
Joe and I got heads on that game, I think.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's end with that. Why do you butt heads? Where are you at on that one, Chris?
I think Joe's leaning Niners here. I'm still gonna go with that. I mean, even when the Rams sucked ass.
I'm not talking about. I haven't wanted Niners whatsoever.
Oh, I thought you said Niner cock the other night.
Probably facetiously.
Oh, okay. I thought Joe kind of leaned that way because the Rams off their outright win. I'm still gonna, if it's over 7, I still think historically these NFC West teams, especially the Rams and the Niners, seem to play each other tough. I think everyone's gonna think, oh, it's gonna be a Niner home game. There's Niner fans. There's gonna be more Niner fans.
Niners in red.
Well, that's just a fact. That's not a narrative. That's just literally a fact.
They look how they treated the Steelers and now the Rams. So I think it's a bit inflated. I wish the Rams would have lost and covered instead of one outright. That probably could get 9, but whatever.
Where are you at with this one, Joe?
Sorry, Matt, I didn't hear what you said, but Chris, you need to factor in too that our foreskinned brother will be in town, Southern California, rooting hard for the Niners. So,
well, Joe, me and you are not homers like that. We bet with our wallets, not our hearts.
I mean, I got the Niners in a teaser.
Oh,
I got Niners -1.
They're going to win by 7. They win by 7.
No, they're going to win by 35. What do you mean?
Okay, so see, we do differ, Matthew.
No, I'm
going to be
again. There's this thing called sarcasm that I'm using right now. I'm not going to bet the game, but if I was to, it'd be Rams.
Interesting. Well, I'm curious to see what that line does over the next few days. If that goes down at all with the whole home division dog angle, home in quotes, or if there's actually steam the other way, because the Niners, they have dominated that team of late. All right, dads, we'll get out of here with that. What'd you say?
Sorry, Matt. I was just going to say this is going to be another pros versus Joe's game again, just like last week.
Well, Brock Purdy is he's about as ATS automatic as it gets early in his career, except when he dies in a playoff game. But that's a totally different story. Yep. So we'll get out of here with that. So we're recording on Wednesday, 20 minutes before Thursday night football kicks off. So 5 p.m. Pacific on Thursday, we'll get on and do a Spaces again. That was good. It was nice to hear from different people that had different opinions on the game. And that was a crazy Thursday game. A lot of fluky shit happened as we saw. So we will talk. Shout out to Tim Earl there in the comments asking about Minnesota moneyline tomorrow. We will discuss the Thursday night game in our spaces 20 minutes before kickoff. Otherwise, moms and dads, good luck with your week 2 bets. Also, shout out KIV, shout out mom. We love you, and we know you're going through it here these next couple days, and that's about the worst thing you can go through right there. So shout out KIV, we love you, mom. And moms and dads will be back spaces tomorrow before Thursday night football, and then the recap show halftime or before the Sunday night game. We'll tweet out when we're going to be live. So, Chris, remind everybody what happens sometimes when you bet on poop. We didn't touch Indy Houston. What happens sometimes when you bet on poop?
You hold on for dear life. Look at that. The Nats are down 7-6 with the bases juice. You're hoping they could get a base hit to knock off those Pirates. Hold on, Nationals.